Hi friends, welcome back. Sonal Malde here today, and I'm going to teach you about doTERRA's number one selling product, and it's not an essential oil. So if you're ready for better sleep, elevated mood, less discomfort, stick around and I'm going to teach you all about doTERRA's lifelong vitality supplements. So these are whole food based supplements. We have omega-3s, cellular vitality complex, and the vitamins. So before I jump in and explain what is in these powerhouses, I'm gonna share a little bit about how I got started using the lifelong vitality supplements. When I found doTERRA, I was working full time in hospital, in healthcare, in hospital pharmacy. And as a clinical pharmacist covering surgical wards, I had patients who'd come with surgeries after bowel cancer and upper gastrointestinal issues. And that come back with lots of readmissions and lots of medicines with lots of side effects. And, they'd have a stoma bag. It was not a good insight at all. And I found while I was helping people become well, is that my wellness was going down. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't sleeping well. I was working up to 60 hours a week and I wasn't prioritizing my own health. I wasn't eating ideally. And as a result, my skin and my hair were a mess. They're falling out in chunks. My face had acne that, my patients would tell me, do you not wash your face? It was very embarrassing. My hormones were a mess. I was grumpy. I was low in energy. I had a heavy body and just didn't feel great. My menstrual cycles would make me throw up because they hurt so bad. And, I'd get sinuses, and ultimately I felt awful, like I didn't want to be around anyone when I wasn't working because I was so exhausted and I knew something had to change. And so I started to go to different healthcare professionals to figure out what was wrong. And the conclusion was that I had to work on my diet and couldn't tell me which one or how to prevent it from actually going full blown. And they just said I need to take omeprazole and painkillers. And so I went to an Ayurvedic doctor, Dr. Abhijit, and he helped me to learn about the effect of toxins in my environment. So cleaning products, hygiene products, skincare, they helped to teach me what I was putting in my body. As far as what I was eating was fueling my body, it was either helping me move towards my goals or moving me away from my goals, and ultimately taught me about good supplements and nutrition. And they did introduce me to supplementation and help me get on some really great herbs that they recommended and things that nature provided. So as a result, I was starting to see some improvement. I was seeing my gut starting to repair. There were about 5 different food sensitivities to different foods that I couldn't eat. All the things that taste good, like gluten and dairy and soy and all that. And I started to learn that when I shifted things in my diet and shifted things in my environment and gave my body what needed, it started to repair itself. And so when I found doTERRA, I fell in love right away with essential oils. I remember breathing in wild orange and peppermint, and I got like happy face. Like I've never been using essential oils, but what this was totally different from what I was used to. And I knew right away that I love the benefits of oils. So I started off with the starter package with doTERRA. At that time, it was the largest package that came with all the oils and also got the supplements. But they sat on my shelf. I am not kidding, for 6 months. I had enough supplements from Holland and Barrett, from Boots, from all the health shops. I had magnesium, vitamin C, all the vitamin D, all the supplements. And I didn't want to add more pills in any form. But then I started to hear from other doTERRA members, and they started to ask me, have you tried the doTERRA Lifelong Vitality? So I said no. And then they said they started to work, and, they're seeing people with better sleep, better mood, hair, skin improvements, and all these things that I thought, from a supplement. So I was so curious that I started to take the supplements, lifelong vitality supplements. And what I discovered was within my first week, I started to see my mood shift, my energy shift. Just the moment I started to feel an improvement in my hair and skin. And I felt so energized. I could feel a little bit of difference that I could say that at least I should take these for 30 days. So if you don't feel a difference, you can also return them to doTERRA empty bottles for a full money back guarantee. And so for sure, I gave it my full 30 days to make sure that these were going to be for me. And I saw some improvements, but not everything that I wanted to see. But I remembered, hey Sonal, it took you years of diet and lifestyle to where you are now. So give it a go for a few more months, right? Because it takes 120 days for all the cells in our body to repair and renew. So I gave it good 6 months before I made my final decision of these vitamins. And what happened in these 6 months is my skin started to clear. I started to, use the essential oils, doTERRA skincare, and the vitamins, and some dietary changes that I had already done previously that didn't completely clear up my skin. So I knew there was something else that I was doing that was helping with that. My hair started to grow back, which I was really thankful for. It started to get thicker again, started to come back in. And what I noticed, which really surprised me, is that I had food sensitivities, not allergies, but sensitivities, where I ate and then my gut would get bloated. I would feel awful. My skin would get itchy all over the body. I had burning tongue syndrome where I wasn't able to eat anything hot or spicy. And I remember eating something that I wouldn't normally have been able to eat at a restaurant. And after I ate, I noticed that I had the same stuff in it. It had the same stuff in it that I wasn't supposed to eat. And what happened was, I didn't get the bloating. I didn't get the skin rash. I didn't get the reaction that I normally got. And what that told me is my gut was starting to repair itself. I had something called leaky gut, which is basically where there's so much inflammation, your gut, there's tiny holes, and that's where your little nutrients and toxicity sip into the bloodstream, and it makes the rest of your body not feel awesome. So my gut was starting to repair, and this was all in a relatively short time. I had IBS as well. I was diagnosed by the doctors of having IBS, which is inflammation. So, I was so relieved in a very short time. I would say 6 months is a relatively short time frame considering I've been working with natural doctors for years and was slowly improving. But this was really what my body needed. So, what is in this lifelong vitality for if you want to maintain wellness, if you want to, to have a little bit of elevated improvement, which I wanted. As a result, I never did get, the full blown gut issues, the tongue burning syndrome, the hormone related to hormones, and a lot of other things. I don't get any more triggers or symptoms related to it, which I am extremely grateful. And the lifelong vitality that we have here is in 3 bottles. So let's start with this one, the VMZ. So this is a food-based multivitamin, and it's really important to have a multivitamin that's food-based, not the one that's out there in the market that's chemically based. So you want it to your body to recognize it and digest it as food. So you're not just taking a supplement and then it's being flushed out down the toilet. We want the benefits. So this is extremely important because our food, even if we eat super healthy, is less nutritious than it was even 30 years or even 10 years ago. So I was reading an article from Scientific America, which they had done a study, that there was a couple of studies, and they had listed in there that they found that one went over a 30-year span and another went over 50-year span. And what these found is that the nutrients and fruits in vegetables, that they did about 20 different vitamins and nutrients in these vegetables and fruits, and they found that over the span of years that the nutrients decrease between 19 and 37%. So you used to be able to eat a carrot and get X amount of the vitamin A or and things like that, and now it's just less nutritious. So even if you're doing a good job eating, and even if we aren't doing a good job eating, it's really important to have good nutrients. 9 out of 10 people aren't getting the recommended vitamin A and D, which is really, really important. 50% of people aren't getting the recommended calcium, magnesium, things of that nature. And so this has all the things in therapeutic amount. So something that doTERRA has spent years and years, a lot of time with researchers, with scientists. So, figuring out, okay, when you have vitamin E, what percentage of D goes well with that, or what percentage of vitamin E goes well with vitamin D, with all of it right, so they are in therapeutic doses. So remember, taking one vitamin on its own is not absorbable as well as when they're all taken together. So they have spent years and years on research to see which vitamin can enhance the absorption of the other. So they are in therapeutic doses to be best absorbed. And so therapeutic doses means that you get the therapeutic benefits of it, like how I did. Number two is the omegas. Now, the omegas are, there's two versions. One is the fish based one, and one is the plant based one. This is the vegan version that I take, but the fish one is also from the sea, made from from the fish oils, and there is no heavy metals, there's no mercury, there's no contaminants. It's super clean fish oil. And and omega 369 are really important for a lot of things, but in particular they're really important for brain health. So 70 to 80% of our brain is made up of these fatty oils. And if we don't have the fatty oils in our brain, then it's not going to work optimally. We also have decreased mood. So we can have a lot of results by having high omega 3, 6, and 9, which are so important for our brain, for our heart, for our skin, and for our gut, and so many other things. So to keep it short, omegas are very important, 3, 6, and 9, and also to have them in a good ratio. So, and we also have a liquid form called IQ Omega. So, if you're an adult and you can't take it, or you are a child, and, so if you having difficulty swallowing, then the IQ Omega, which is the kids version, would be a great option as well. And finally, we have the alpha CRS. This is the cellular vitality complex, full of antioxidants and polyphenols. This one works in the mitochondria of the cells to help repair and replenish the body. So the mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cells, and their job is to reproduce their energy houses. And if it's not functionally optimal, we have slower cell turnover, we have sluggish thoughts, and things of that nature. So, something that you'll find in all the doTERRA supplements, but especially the Alpha CRS, there's going to be some really high-end ingredients that are expensive to buy individually. And sometimes you will see a lot of producers put the label that has X, for instance, CoQ10 or ginkgo or things like that, that are in our alpha CRS, but they call it fairy dusting. So it's like little sprinkling. That's not at a therapeutic level. So if you are taking a doTERRA supplement, it's going to be at a therapeutic level where your body is going to experience the benefits. The desired effect. So therapeutic effect is when your body is going to experience a desired effect. So this has some great things for mitochondria. It's also great for DNA protection. It supports healthy antioxidants. it helps inflammatory levels and a healthy immune system, and so much more. It's got boswellic acid, which is frankincense. So boswellic acid comes from the resin, frankincense resin, and it's got so many benefits. And we also have green tea in here, turmeric root, grapeseed, pomegranate, fruit extract. We have CoQ10, ginkgo, and some other things in here. So if you were to purchase these and try to spend, for example, all these ingredients and try to spend them in a health food store and get all the ingredients that are in this lifelong vitality at therapeutic levels and add them up, you would spend a lot more. So I challenge you to go and get all the ingredients from the health food store at therapeutic level and see if you would spend a lot more than the lifelong vitality. If you were to calculate all the nutrients that are in the lifelong vitality supplements, so all the nutrients that are in these 3 bottles, I calculated each and every ingredient. If I went and bought the vegetables, all the grocery from the grocery store, it cost me more than £750 to be able to get the equivalent therapeutic dose for what's in these nutrients. Plus the alpha CRS, the ingredients in the alpha CRS, if I went and bought the individual ingredients, then it would cost me more than £300 in order to get the therapeutic dose of what's in this alpha CRS. So it'll cost me a lot more than the nutrients that are in the lifelong vitality, where thankfully you don't have to spend £750 or more than £300 for all the nutrients that you get from these 3 bottles that you can see here. Now, regarding the costing, I have taken pictures of the bottles that I calculated from the health stores, and I've done my own calculation, and that's what I came up with. You can see it in my blog below, which is the detailed article. That there's a link below, and you'll be able to see the costing that I came up with, and I challenge you to do the same. So when you are doTERRA wholesale member, which I know many of you are, you get the wholesale price on the lifelong vitality supplements. So you can either purchase them as a one-time standard order, or you want to use it on a regular basis, then you can put it on your LRP order, which is the Loyalty Rewards Program order, which you can start getting free product points and free shipping back on your purchase. The 3-pack is £80.50. So for any wholesale member, which is something is really an investment in my health, I think that the type of healthy and organic foods that I spend my money on every month to help nurture my body, the investment of £80.50 is something that to me is essential and working, and for healthcare. So I realized is health is really our greatest gift, like our most precious asset, and it's often unappreciated, and until it's gone. And I experienced just a tiny glimpse of what it would be like to not feel well, and I don't ever want to feel that way again. So if possible for me, this is an investment now, rather than I'd rather take a handful of vitamins every morning than before what I used to do, take a bucket load of pills. So in the future, check these out. If you have any questions, please post below, and I'm going to upload a post, which is a blog article, which is going to be written up really well, a really thorough article about all the ingredients that are in the lifelong vitality, what the benefits are, and it's going to be a really thorough article. So check it out, my blog post below. And if you need some doTERRA wholesale pricing, I'll also put the link below for you to get started on the wholesale pricing. And we will talk to everyone next time. Thank you for joining.